Hey friends, I know there are serious reasons why you might choose to stay home and watch church online. But I am becoming concerned about some of the excuses that I do hear. Things like, well, I just like to sit in my pajamas and have my cup of coffee. Or, why do I need to go to a physical place anyway? God does understand the times we're living in. He understands our fears, but He also gives us biblical reasons why we need each other and why we need to get out of those pajamas and go to church. Wear a mask. This video will give you 5 reasons to go to church. It's important to ask, what does the Bible say? And in Romans 1:12, when we get together, I want to encourage you in your faith, but I also want to be encouraged by yours. There was no internet back in Paul's day. And so when he says, when we get together, he really meant physically. Look at the emphasis on encouragement. Here's number 1 reason to go to church. We go to get encouraged. And Paul says he wants to be encouraged by others. He wants to be encouraged. So reason 2 is that we go to encourage someone else. This may be a new thought for you. It's a huge idea. We tend to go to church and we say, oh, I want the good music. I love it. That's really worship. I want to see my friends, or I want to hear a good sermon. And it's all about what I want. I want. But what a difference it makes when we listen to Paul and say, it's not just about me. It's about what I can give to others. I can come to church prepared to give a word for someone who really needs to be encouraged. What a difference it will make if we think of church as a place to minister, to use our spiritual gifts in God's family. The physical gathering together is the place where God's church can love one another. Another important verse is Hebrews 10. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as in the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Let's look closely at these verses. It tells us that even in the early church, some people had the habit of not going. The author of Hebrews reminds us that it's all about encouragement for one another. When he says the day drawing near, he's talking about the approach of end times and judgment for the world. This is supposed to motivate us to want to go to church all the more. He tells us to hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering. And when hard times come, we do tend to waver. So if you want to hold fast your faith, you get encouragement from others. Rather than letting hardship discourage you from going to church, it's the solution according to God. We go and He encourages us with other believers. Do you want to grow spiritually? Well, these verses tell us that real life fellowship with other believers is key. The verse starts out saying, let us consider. That means stop and think, prepare. How can I stir up someone else? How can I encourage someone else? How can I help them to know good deeds and love that they can express to others? And God says, let us. That's a form of command. In other words, God is giving this as a command to you and me that we need to obey. And the result, the fruit of our obedience, will be good works and love. God understands all that you're going through, and He gives this sound advice and command. Each of us needs to evaluate where we are at and make a decision. God says the church needs you, and you need the church, the physical church, the actual people that you can interact with, that you can help correct and teach. You can help disciple. You can help them to be strong in their faith. My husband is an orthopedic surgeon in Ethiopia. Sometimes he has to do the unpleasant task of amputating a dead limb. God is saying, don't be like that dead limb. Don't be amputated. Don't be isolated away from the life that is flowing through the body of Christ. That's your prescription for joy today.